Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's preseason press conference here in Austin, Texas. We have head coach Pascal Jansen. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Scott.
Hey, Coach. How are you? It's Scott Shirts and Stream Punk Soccer.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Coach. Elephant in the room. Let's get it out of the way. Moussa, Sylla, what happened there, and what's the plan B if there is one? Thanks.
Nothing special happened. We were trying to get to a deal, and the deal fell through. So now we have to switch gears and try to find a new number 9, and that's what all our focus is heading towards at the moment.
Christian?
Coach, again, not to harp on this, but obviously the reaction from his home club has been a little bit more drastic, I guess you could say. Does the club or do you want to respond to some of the remarks that it made in terms of how this is all played out?
No, I don't think that's wise. Those are the words from Germany and from Schalke in this particular situation. So whatever they've said is for their account. We've said what we wanted to say, and that's what I'm going to stick to as well.
Fair enough. Coach, if I could just follow up, though. In terms of looking for now another replacement at that spot, is there someone else that the club has already targeted previously that maybe comes back to the top of the list now?
Well, it's good that you try and you ask, but we never comment on these things because that is something that process goes behind closed doors. And when it's time to mention something to you guys, you will be the first to know.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi. So you've had a couple weeks now with Thales Magno. We saw him in the clips of the Austin game. He seemed to be involved in both of the goals and one in a direct way. Mm-hmm. Can you give us your impression of the player and what role you see him occupying on the squad this year?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because that's a guy we can talk about. He's on the squad. First of all, we're very happy that Thales has returned to NYCFC. He's shown good character. He's part of the group and knows the club, of course. For us to meet was the first time. So he's a good character, a good person, working very hard in order to establish a good footprint within the team. He played as a number 9 against Austin and did a very good job. He was involved, like you said, with the goals that we scored. And he's a versatile player. He can play as a number 9. He can play as a left winger as well. And those type of profiles are always very welcome in our squad because that's part of our philosophy anyway, to have players play in multiple positions. And his impression has been very, very positive so far.
Glenn?
Hey, Pascal.
Hi, Glenn.
How are you? The last time you spoke, you talked about requesting to the board that they look for as close to a likely replacement for Justin Haak as possible. Mm-hmm. So my question is, do you sense that Trewin is that player with that sort of versatility? Mm-hmm. And that beyond that, I don't know if he's in or when you expect him in, and when do you think he'll be a part of things in terms of the possibility of playing at Coachella?
Well, I hope Kai will be with us soon. You know as well as I do, Glenn, that there's the whole process with the visa and the work permit, so we have to respect that. And Kai is taking good care of himself while he's not with us yet. Hopefully we can see him soon in Coachella and he can join the training sessions and get to know the guys and get closer to whatever needs to be done to get him attached to the team. Comparing Justin and Kai is always difficult because there's only one Justin Haak. He did a very good job with us last season and he moved on. For us, like I mentioned just now with Thales, it's always very useful and part of the philosophy to have players that can play in multiple positions. And that is one of the strong aspects from Kai. He can play in a back 2, 2 center-backs, 3 center-backs. He can play as a single pivot. He can play as a double pivot. So that is one of the things that caught our eye. And we took a look into his profile a little deeper. And the fit is there, so hopefully he can join us and show his qualities very soon.
Thank you.
Alejandro?
Hi, Mr. Pascal. How are you?
Hey, Alejandro, how are you?
Doing, by the way? Okay. My question is, for the professional perspective, when you play a cultural fix of the team already has a solid foundation, something they show against Austin this week. How do you see the chemistry playing between the experienced players and the new guys going for the NYC team?
Oh, that's an interesting question. As I mentioned after the game, with the change of a few players in the team and making sure that other players fit in my belief, it's always creating the right chemistry. You could see bits and pieces in the game against Austin because we do have players that were part of the process and the program last season as well. So we don't have to start from scratch again. So we saw bits and pieces against Austin. Made some good steps forward in making sure that we're ready at the end of February to compete at MLS level again. So it's good to have this game. It's good to have all the training sessions to create that chemistry. And now we're about to move to Coachella and move forward in order to create even more chemistry and be ready for the MLS season.
Sean?
Thank you so much.
Sean, go ahead.
Thank you. Didn't hear you over them. Coach Sean's Coachella Magazine. Hope you're well.
Hi, Sean.
You've just signed a player, Super Cooper, who is from Long Island. We've been watching him for a number of years. Anything on your first take of him?
Of Cooper, you mean?
Yes, they call him Super Cooper. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'll use that once we finish the press conference and see if he recognizes it. Yeah. No, Cooper is doing just fine. Obviously, he is known at the club. For us to meet each other was the first experience. Talented kid, technically skilled. Midfield player like I like to see them. Good awareness. Try to work on his offensive positioning in order to get himself into positions where he can score or play more assists. So there's a few things we started working on immediately. Obviously, he's been to school and missed a few years in the program in New York, but he's trying to catch up as soon as possible. And he's one of the guys that is trying to understand what kind of energy and chemistry he needs to bring in order to move this team forward. And it's looking good so far.
Michael?
Hey, Pascal, it's Mike Gander from Blue City River. Thanks as always for the time.
Hi, Michael.
So it feels like with the signing of Kai and Nico last year and Raul, the team is moving towards signing players a little bit older than in the transfer windows. Is that something that you would say is part of your influence, or is it just a general direction of the team?
It depends on how you see this. If you compare the signings to the period where guys like Juli or Agu were signed, they were a little younger. But we look at quality first. And in this case, also the existing roster. What does the team need in order to move forward? And is that a player that is in the end phase of his teens or beginning of his 20s, or is it mid-20? So that is something that we look at carefully when we're building our roster. But the precision and working thoroughly in order to get the right players in, that is the most important process that we focus on.
Amelia?
Hi, Coach. It's so good to see you long time. No sé, I hope you remember me. I'm Lasso from Magno Televisión.
I remember you. How are you?
I want to look ahead. Hi, thank you so much. So today I wanted to look ahead to the Coachella Valley Invitational. How would you adapt your formation and tactical approach against teams like LAFC that emphasize high position and wide attack, especially after all the events have occurred?
That's an interesting question. We'll have to see what they have scheduled for us. But as it always is in this period of the season, the focus is on our own team, making sure that we develop our own game style, gameplay, creating the right chemistry with new players coming in so everybody understands their job and their responsibilities on field. That is priority number one. During the week in Coachella, a week and a half in Coachella, we'll have some interesting games. Obviously, LAFC is a very strong team with good players. So we're looking forward to have that kind of competitiveness into the friendly games now, because we're getting closer to the start of the MLS season. So you need teams that can play in different shapes, have a different game model, a game approach, in order to get ourselves ready as much as we can.
Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Oliver Strand again with Hudson River Blue. The media that covers this team, I think, has come to know your directs. You don't really sugarcoat things. You say what's mind, very direct way. To that, the clip that we saw of you after the Austin game, you were talking about what the team was doing well, that there were also other ways where they seem to not measure up to the standards that you have. Could you expand on what exactly it was that you were alluding to?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Sorry.
We saw a short clip of you after the Austin game, and you talked about what the team did well, but you said that there were other things that they weren't, not that they weren't quite doing, but that they still needed to do. And
I remember.
It was as to what those things are, so I'm wondering what those things are.
No, what I was referring to, because we were talking about the youngsters getting in from college, the new players on the current roster. Well, we're on in pre-season. So what I meant to say was those guys obviously haven't been with us that long yet. So it's now 3 weeks, close to 3 weeks that they've been with us. So for them to adapt to the standards and to realize what is expected from them job-wise and responsibility-wise, that takes time. So when they came on field, especially during the second half, when we changed a couple of key players and finished the game for the final 30 minutes, you could see they were trying to do everything that we asked them to do and what they're capable of doing. But for the majority of the players, it was the first time to even come across a team like Austin with that type of level in their play. So that's what I meant to say. They were struggling at times, but they stuck together in order to finish the game as strong as possible. But they're still learning in order to close down the gap that there is with the top half of the team.
Joe?
Hey, Pascal, how are you?
Hi, Joe.
A question for you. I mean, people can say preseason's preseason, and it doesn't really count, but how do you draw that balance of working on what you want to work on to get ready for the regular season, but still get a performance out of preseason where guys feel confident and kind of have a winning feeling going into the regular season?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. In preseason, as you know, Joe, it's finding that balance, because making sure that the team progresses, moves forward, also focusing on getting to a higher level if it comes to the physicality of the game, and making sure that you get game ready for whatever is needed during the MLS. Playing 90 minutes at a certain standard that we foresee our team doing each and every game. So those are steps that are combined with everything that you do in preseason as well. So you have to take care of that aspect as well. On the other hand, what we always refer to within our team, it doesn't matter who we play, when we play, what time we play, where we play them. We always want to win our games at all times. So that is the competitiveness within the team, within the locker room. That is something we emphasize in training every day. So every game that we play, there's a winner, there's a loser. So making sure that that is within our culture, that is being trained and triggered on a daily basis. So that doesn't change for us going into a friendly game. It's a friendly game, but it's still a game we want to win.
Final one, we'll go with Javier.
Hey, Coach, Javier, City Boys. The team recently unveiled a mascot, a skyscraper. I want to know if you got to meet him yet, and are you a fan?
I'm a big fan of Sky. I met Sky, at least on video, at the beginning of the season when you guys were not aware that Sky was even there yet. So we got a first glimpse as co-workers of the company. I'm happy that Sky is now out in the open and everybody can see our new mascot. And I'm looking forward to meeting Sky myself.